Today we're going to be covering the basics of raised bed gardening, which will include the different styles of raised bed gardening, the advantages, then we'll get into the soil and a specific nutrition recipe for best results, and finally we'll cover how to care for your raised beds throughout the year to keep them productive. And just to clarify what raised bed gardening is, it's basically a garden area that's elevated anywhere from a few inches on up to 3 or so feet above the soil level. Raised beds are also bottomless, which means the roots of plants can extend further down into the soil if needed, instead of becoming root-bound, which can happen in traditional containers. Now, there are several different styles of raised beds used for gardening, which include a wood, concrete, or metal-framed box open to the ground, wide rows of raised mounds with no wall support. There's large round pots, typically 15 to 25 gallons in size. Also, there are raised bed benches that are raised up off the ground with legs. Next, I'll discover the many advantages of raised bed gardening. First, raised beds can be placed wherever you want them and can even be portable when you're using something like a large pot or a bench with legs. They can be designed to fit any space. You can control the quality of the soil and water drainage. And because plants are growing higher off the ground, you don't have to bend over quite as far when taking care of them. Another advantage is that since raised beds sit above the frost line, the soil temperature warms up faster in the spring, which means you can start planting sooner. Also, it's easier to control soil medium and pH by using custom-designed soil recipes that are geared for specialty crops like asparagus and blueberries. And raised beds even help to control pests because the added height makes it more difficult for garden pests such as slugs and snails to get to your plants. Finally, weed management is a lot easier because they're easier to pull. Harvesting doesn't require any digging, and plants are simply easier to prune and care for. Now, the type of soil and nutrition you provide makes a huge difference in the success of your raised bed garden. Healthy soil has a rich, dark color, and the texture is loose and easy to work with. Also, the presence of worms are a good sign of rich, healthy soil. Most soil in urban settings is not ideal for growing vegetables or flowers. So one of the benefits of raised bed gardening is that you can more easily create a fantastic growing environment by the type of soil and nutrition you use. The ideal soil can be made by using a combination of organic matter, manures, worm castings, and biochar. After 40 years of gardening experience, our favorite all-purpose recipe that works for a wide range of vegetables and flowers that will also help to produce the best crop yields would be to use 2 bags of 3 cubic G&B raised bed mix, 1 bag of 2 cubic G&B Harvest Supreme, 1 bag of 1.5 cubic G&B Eden Valley Garden Soil with biochar, and 1 bag of 20 quart G&B WORM-GRO. So we found this recipe works great when you mix this recipe together while preparing the planting bed. And now once you've got your raised bed style selected and you have added the proper soil recipe, it's time to think about how to care for your raised garden throughout the year and down the road. Because vegetables in raised beds need to have balanced nutrition to grow and yield great tasting crops. An excellent way to take care of this is by using an organic fertilizer like G&B All-Purpose Paradise 555 formula. Then later on, you can feed again every 2 months with G&B's Paradise 555 fertilizer. After the first year, you'll want to treat your raised bed with dolomite lime at the start of each season to bring the pH back up. And while soil in raised beds can be reused, it should be recharged each year with bioactive and nutritionally rich soil amendments like G&B Harvest Supreme, as well as G&B's Eden Valley Garden Soil with biochar. So hopefully this video was helpful for you. If so, please leave us a thumbs up, as we always appreciate that. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. We love getting to answer as many questions as we can. Otherwise, happy gardening and hope to see you again soon.